Hey, one of the things we're going to talk about now is what I call road show issues. And remember, if you're a firearms instructor and you're located in one area, you do all your classes there, then let's face it, you've got to kind of be a jack of all trades. You've got to be the person that schedules the range. You're the person that got to prep it and get the target stands in place. And you've got to do all those particular skills besides being the actual teacher. For instructors that travel, and most of us that make a living as a firearms instructor have to travel. There's generally not enough business in one locale to keep you stable as far as income over a period of time. In some big areas, if all you teach is CCW classes, you may be able to stay there and have a constant flow of customers and survive. Cool. But most of us that are in the business travel, which means we travel everything from all over the United States. Some of us travel internationally. And there's some issues, what we call roadshow issues. And I'll give you an example. Remember, I typically fly in to teach a class. The host, the guy that's the organizer or the local guy who's responsible for the class, actually is the guy that has to do a lot of things. I can't fly in, the night before the class and have everything ready. So the roadshow issues we call one is the host, the guy who is the local guy that's responsible for getting access to the range. He's got to get the range set up. In other words, is the range prepped for teaching a class? He's got to make sure, are the targets there? Are the target stands there? One of the critical things he needs to be able to do is know what the range rules are. So when you show up and say, okay, can we shoot to a certain hour, he's got to know the range rules. No, we got to be done by, say, 6 p.m. or we can shoot till midnight, whatever. He's got to be able to tell you that. Where are the best places for people to go for lunch? Are there going to be restaurants or fast food available? And directions, how they get there. I'm not going to know that stuff. One of the major issues is the safety brief. I've had people say to me, well, I don't think the safety brief you gave for this class was very good or wasn't adequate. And I go, wait a minute, I've never been here in my life. I've never been eyes on this place until I landed at the airport last night. And I don't have a clue what the local safety or medical capabilities are. That's the job of the local host, who will tell you, here's the range safety brief, here's our responsibility, here's how medical care will be provided. Don't expect me to provide it because I don't know it. That's something that your host or the sponsor of the class needs to provide. So as a traveling instructor, you've got to reach out to that guy. Remember, a lot of times the local guy has done this many times and he knows exactly what to do. Other times, believe me, I've showed up places where the guy didn't have a clue. Literally, I've taught classes in a pasture where we had to dodge the cow pies. And you can imagine, those classes sometimes struggle because the host doesn't know what he's doing. So as far as a traveling issue, you need to make sure that the person that's hosting class or responsible for it has these bases covered and takes care of these details, because you can't do it. And believe me, something as minor as not having target tape or pasters can destroy a class. So think about these things, make your checklist, and when you talk to your host, make sure, do you have a safety brief ready for your range and your facility? And if the guy says, well, not really, then he needs to get it ready. So check those things out. Remember, they're not automatic. You've got to make sure that they happen. Good luck.